Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to attract people to church coming up. All right, so point number one, it's not about you, it's about them. This is why it's really important whenever you're communicating anything in your church to be communicating about them. You always want to answer the question, what's in it for me? Because if someone sees a social media post or they go on your website or they get an invite card to one of your events, they're immediately asking themselves, well, what's in it for me? So you want to make sure to answer that question. And the best way to do this is to make them the hero of the story. And the way that you do that is by making them Luke Skywalker and you position yourself as Yoda. Donald Miller has some great teaching on this about the story brand framework. But it's basically this. You don't want to make yourself the hero of the story. You don't want to talk about your church and all the different things that's going on and how you have great worship and how you have a relevant message. You actually want to talk about them. And so instead of making yourself the hero of the story and talking about you, making yourself Luke Skywalker, you actually want to make them Luke Skywalker. What happens is in that, now you position to them as Luke Skywalker, hey, have you ever wondered? And they go, yeah, I have wondered that. Then you position yourself as Yoda, you're the guide, and you say, well, come on out this Sunday. We're going to answer that question you've always wanted to know. We'll see Sunday, right? It's subtle, but that shift in communication is going to make you way more effective and help you attract a lot more visitors to church every single Sunday. Next up, people remember how you make them feel. So people don't remember what you say, they remember how you make them feel. Almost everyone in the world has a universal fear of being alone. And so one of the best things that you can do is to communicate to people that you understand that they're not alone and that you're here to help. Next up, one of the best ways to attract new people to your church is to be the loudest outreach institution in your community. Now, what do we mean by that? Well, one of my favorite ways to do this is what we call the fill the fridge ministry, right? So you're going to reach out to a local elementary school or middle school or high school, and you just reach out to the principal and just say, hey, this is Pastor Chris over at Guts Church. Man, I just want to let you know that we appreciate what you guys do so much. And I know things have been crazy with all of the distance learning and virtual learning, and the schools have been shut down and then they're open again and masks. And man, we just want to say thank you and show you how much we appreciate you. Would it be okay if we came out once a month and just filled the fridge in the teacher's lounge and dropped off a couple of snacks? There's no way a principal is going to say no to that. And so once a month, you go out and you just fill the fridge in the teacher's lounge with every type of soda and fun drink that you can imagine, right? Then you put out a bunch of snacks. Maybe you have some ladies in your church who bake some cookies or cupcakes, right? Maybe you just bring in a bunch of like fun chips and snacks and those types of things. And then you just leave a big letter on the door of the fridge that says, we filled the fridge. We just want to let you know how much we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for what you do. We filled the fridge. Love, Pastor Chris and your friends at Guts Church, right? This is going to go a really, really long way because all you're doing is just letting people know how much you appreciate them. And I guarantee it's going to generate some buzz, right? Teachers are going to talk to other teachers. They're going to start to tell their spouses, and word is going to start to spread throughout the community just because you're out there taking care of people. And you can do this same type of thing with first responders, right? Maybe with ambulance drivers or the police department or the fire department, right? Try to find ways to be unique and stand out in your city by just doing some simple outreach and showing people how much you appreciate them. All right, so before I get to my last couple of points, man, I want to hear from you. Have you guys ever tried Fill the Fridge, or have you guys tried any type of outreach like that in your city? If you have, I want to hear from you. Post it in the comments below. I want to hear about it. All right, next up, you can set up a Facebook funnel for new visitors. Now, this one is really, really effective, and I've actually been helping churches 350 grow to 800 in only 4 weeks using the exact 4-part Facebook funnel that I'm about to roll out for you right now. So let's dive in. All right, number one, you want to run a Facebook ad. Now, this is different than a boosted post. A boosted post is a post that you actually put on your Facebook page, and then you boost it, meaning you give Facebook $10, $20, $50 to show that to more people. But a Facebook ad is different. You're actually going to go into the ads manager and you're going to set up an ad that actually doesn't show up on your Facebook page. It only shows up in the news feeds of the people that you set up through targeting. Right? So you can literally just drop a pin on your church location, and then you can draw out a circle of driving distance, right? So that might be 10, 12, 15, 20 miles, depending on your church. And then you can make sure that Facebook shows a to every single person who lives within driving distance of your church. All right, number two, you're gonna send them to a landing page on your website. Now, this is gonna be a little bit different than your homepage or your about page, right? This is specifically gonna be about either the event that you're talking about or plan your visit page for Sunday morning, or maybe even a sermon series page that talks about your new upcoming sermon series, right? But the most important thing is that if you say more than one thing, you say nothing at all. So you wanna make sure that your dedicated landing page only talks about one thing. So if it's a plan your visit page, it should only talk about your church and why people should plan a visit for Sunday. And you have one call to action, plan your visit. If it's a sermon series, it's gonna be similar. You're only gonna talk about the sermon series. You might give an overview of what it's like to visit church and plan your visit, and then you're going to invite people to plan their visit for this Sunday and attend the sermon series. Okay, so your homepage is kind of like dropping people in the middle of the forest and hoping that they find their way to what they're looking for. Whereas a landing page is like putting people on a direct path that leads them straight to where you wanna go. All right, number three, plan your visit. Now, this is something that completely revolutionized my church. I've been able to help thousands of churches over the last several years set this up for their church, but it's essentially this. Basically, you want to give people an option on your website to be able to sign up and schedule an appointment to visit your church on Sunday morning. Then, once someone has planned a visit, you can just assign a friendly person, a plan your visit host, to meet them at the front door, help them get their kids checked in, give them a tour of the building, introduce them to some key staff and leaders, and save them seats in service. When we first started doing this at my church, we actually launched it on Easter Sunday in 2017. And things exploded so much that we actually maxed out our main sanctuary, we maxed out our overflow sanctuary, and we maxed out our kids building. We literally had to shut down our kids check-in and tell this long line of young families, hey, we're so sorry, we don't have any more seats left anywhere in the church, and we don't have enough room for you in our kids building. So we had about 1,000 people who were stuck outside of church on Easter Sunday. But the best part is we kept running Plan Your Visit, and the very next month we increased our first-time visitors by 42% in May, 60% in June, 87% in July, and 113% in August. And it just continued to snowball from there because Plan Your Visit is very, very powerful, and it helps eliminate anxieties and lower the barrier of entry for new visitors. And then finally, number four, follow-up system. Right? Once you're running Facebook ads to a landing page where people are planning a visit and they're showing up on Sunday, now you need to get people back in the door because, as we all know, the only thing better than a first-time visitor is a second-time visitor. So the best way to do this is to use something like Text in Church, where you can actually set up an automated follow-up system, and you can just plug in everyone from your Connect cards on Monday morning to that follow-up system, and it's gonna deliver a strategic mix of text message, emails, and personal phone calls over the next 6 to 12 weeks. The average churchgoer in the US only goes to church 1.2 times, and that was before the pandemic. You wanna make sure to have an automated follow-up system following up with people for at least 6 to 12 weeks afterwards to get them back in the door. All right, so I hope this video was valuable, and I hope it kind of helped open your eyes to some different things that you could be doing in your community and online to be able to attract new visitors. If you want to know more about how to do this, or you want to have a conversation with us about having us set up a Facebook funnel for your church, just go over to churchgrowthagency.com, check out the free video over there, and we'll talk to you soon.